This is an email thread from the Lane County Republican Central Committee Executive Board showing anti-Republican values. Whereas Lane County Republican Central Committee Chair Cindy Land's actions have created such a hostile environment that she has caused numerous PCPs to avoid or stop participating in party business, thus diminishing the effectiveness of those who work for the Republican cause. It shows the unilateral and tyrannical actions of the chair and other members of the Lane County Republican Executive Committee as they try to stop transparency and the rule of law within the Republican Party. Stopping the Central Committee main body from even knowing about or hearing about a transparency committee the Executive Committee voted on and passed last year, but the chair is hostile to it. She kept stalling and disbanding it, and the Executive Committee had to waste time voting it back in until the chair was able to gain the majority votes of the Executive Committee. Now the Executive Committee is willing to dump 20% of the Lane County Republican Central Committee to keep control of the main body. The Executive Committee has violated the trust of every member of the Central Committee by passing standing rules to deny members information all members have a right to, calling Central Committee meetings and not allowing members to speak, cramming in so much on the agenda so the body cannot ask questions to candidates or discuss other matters. The chair has repeatedly used her position to stop or micromanage all action to death. The Executive Committee has repeatedly violated the rules of decorum within Robert's Rules of Order and have broke Oregon revised statutes and took it upon themselves to remove 20% of the duly elected members, thus diminishing the effectiveness of those who work for the Republican cause. They have compromised the ability of the Central Committee to function and fulfill its central mission. They use fear and manipulate the rules of decorum to keep the main body in the dark of what's really going on. Their actions have created such a hostile environment it has caused numerous PCPs to avoid or stop participating in party business. They have broken the rules of decorum to harass others that are trying to grow the party. They deny transparency and act like tyrants, passing standing rules to stop the ability of others trying to work for true conservative Republicans. I sent this email June 6 to the entire Executive Board, 5 days after the petitioned with cause Central Committee meeting for my recall. That's when I noticed a large difference in the official PCP list from the Lane County Elections Office and our credentialing chair's list.
Oh, the official count is 175.
Who was also the chief petitioner at my recall. Slight conflict of interest there. So I called the Lane County Elections Office after the petition committee meeting, and they told me about a letter the Lane County Republican Party secretary sent to remove PCPs. I was shocked to hear it. That is internal destruction of the party. So then after verifying it was public business and I can get a copy any time, I then tried to get a copy from my executive board, which I'm still a duly elected member of, and the proper protocol in an honorable world. First, the PCP list used to credential at my recall. I knew I would never get to see any documents at my trial on June 1st, so I specifically asked for the total count of PCPs. And I'm right so far. I have no documents from the party as of making this video. The second request is a shocker to the corrupt players as they think they got away with their psycho game because June 10th is when the newly elected PCPs take office. They will never give up that letter and will pass standing rules in the executive board to double down on tyranny. The response I got back is what I expected. Psycho tyranny and silence from others that do not know what to do or do nothing, or even worse, bow to the false power trip because they are, the executive board. Christie does admit the letter was sent, but that's all. It's a starting point for adults to have a conversation. I can work with that. Watch what I must go through and how many days wasted to try and get the letter from my party secretary, which I never get. Chair Cindy Land goes off the rail into Psycho Land with her next reply. She says her list was continually updated, and the Lane County Elections website was not. This is ORS, another way of saying Oregon state law. A precinct committee person may resign from the office by filing a written notification of resignation with the county clerk, and C, notify the appropriate county central committee. This way it has a complete circle. All three people involved are notified. Cindy Land wants everyone to believe she has the power to continuously update the official PCP count. Not Lane County elections, not the state, only Cindy Land. So the second paragraph really shows everyone what type of a psycho tyrant we're dealing with here. In order to release member lists or other documents, good cause must be demonstrated for the need. Your request will be considered based on the legitimacy of its purpose. Like my trial, member lists and documents, every member has a right to that. Robert's Rules of Order tells you that. So I reply back, can you point to where it says good cause in the bylaws? I don't believe it says that. I believe it says all members can have access to it. It's public record. Also, does my trial count as good cause? I believe it does. 3 days now, and this is Cindy's reply. She has not given a single rule or statute or anything. She just plays these word games saying private organization, Oregon statute as political organization. Its record, and she sticks to this. Its records are not public. Wow. Why would anybody want to volunteer for somebody like this? Robert's Rule of Order, 11th edition, page 460, is records of the Secretary. The Secretary is to preserve reports and records. And then it says, any member has a right to examine these reports and records. Any member. We're all on the same page. We're all in the same group. We've got the same goals, unless you're trying to hide something. I can go over and over on transparency in our bylaws, in our state party, in the ORS records. Transparency is the most important thing. We need to be able to trust each other. So I replied back to Cindy with a link and an entire executive board showing that the Lane County Elections Office has everybody's name online. We're not as private as some people want us to think. We're supposed to be public so that people know we're here, we're doing things, not private tyrants trying to control and manipulate everything. That's nuts. That's why everybody's losing. And so for 50 cents, I went down to the Lane County Elections Office to pick up the list to prove that Cindy Land is a psycho tyrant.
Get it right. You need to practice your rules. You're very bad at it.
Dwayne,
Cindy?
get out
I
of
understand
my
that.
personal space.
Hey, I've got space right here. I'm not in your face. Got it? I'm trying to remember this name. No. There's a sign-up sheet over here. No, I'm not. Point of order. There's a sign-up sheet for us to speak. We get to speak before the meeting.
Excuse me, sir.
My name was on there, and I wasn't.
Oh,
I am on there. That's part of Robert's Rules of Order. Where is that sheet? We get to speak before this starts.
Excuse me, sir.
Point of order.
Excuse me, sir.
Point of order.
One more time and I'm going to ask you to leave.
You can't do that. Point of order gives me a right to speak. You don't get to speak over the top of me.
You do not get to interrupt this meeting and I will ask you to leave.
Point of order is a reason to interrupt.